Kya, Mina-san, I'm virtual YouTuber Yukio Kami, and today I'm gonna bring you another ghost story. Yay! And it's also finally Halloween. What is it, Yuri? Yuri? What? Oh, hi? Do you want to hear me tell ghost stories? Okay. I'm a little scared, you guys. I don't know who that is. If I don't make another video in a week after this, you know who did it. I'm scared, you guys. So either way, it's finally Halloween. Yay! So try not to eat too much candy, okay? I hope you guys have a lot of fun dressing up in your costumes and going out trick-or-treating. I might go see a movie with some friends. I really can't wait. I especially also want to go trick-or-treating. So wish me luck on getting a lot of good candy. And best of luck to you guys as well. And without further ado, enjoy the story. Terrifying old school building. The elementary school I went to was over 120 years old. It was a really old school. The building was an old wooden design, and the halls squeaked when you walked down them. Ghost stories were all the rage at that time. And when home time came, during the winter, the halls were so dark that I didn't want to walk down them alone. We had the usual scary stories that every school has, like the portraits in the music room come to life at night, or the anatomy model in the science room would get up and move around, and that Hanukkah lived in the toilets. We had all the usual school legends. Kokori-san especially was popular at that time, and I often played it with my friends as well. We didn't treat it very seriously, and just asked silly questions. Who the boy someone had a crush on liked. We never once seen or heard of a real ghost. None of us were able to see the supernatural, so we weren't especially afraid. That all changed, however. One day at the school gym, just like the main school buildings, the gym was made of wood, and it was really old. It was probably even older than the rest of the school. It was okay enough for the class, but the toilets and the stairs got no light, and the darkness made it seem like something was constantly lurking in the shadows. These days, elementary school kids tend to go home straight after class is finished. But where I live, in the countryside, we went to the gym or to the schoolyard to play until the teachers told us to leave. We play around the school to our heart's content. On this particular day, it was raining, so we couldn't play outside. We all went to the gym and played tag, volleyball, and all sorts of games. It was always late when we went home. I think it was around autumn, so the days were getting shorter and shorter, and it was kinda dark outside. The gym having very little sunlight was gloomy, and the hall nearly pitch black. We will always play until the teachers told us to leave, so after we put the balls away, we continued playing and played hide and seek in the hall. Thinking back on it now, us kids hiding in an already dark hall, tucking into places so nobody could find us, is a pretty terrifying thought, but at the time, we weren't really afraid of anything. The kid who was it found us one by one until finally we all been discovered. Everyone had been found, not a single person missing, and yet, we heard a voice. The voice of another child. Ready, ready. We were playing hide and seek. They were ready to be found, but everybody had already been found. We were all standing there. That was somebody else's voice. We all screamed, and ran from the gym at once. My heart pounded wildly, and that night I was unable to sleep. The gym was knocked down after that, and a new one was built in its place. The following year, the school was knocked down and rebuilt as well. Now it's a new and more modern school. Not the type of buildings you expect to find a ghost. But I'll never forget that time. That dark hall in the gym, where we played hide and seek with a ghost. Terrifying experience at the seaside school. This happened to me over 20 years ago, but I'll never forget it. During the summer of '89, I went on a high school camp to a seaside school. We stayed 2 nights and 3 days in a special training dorm on the beach. The area was surrounded by pine trees that acted as a windbreak, and thanks to that we couldn't hear anything from the nearby beach or national highway. It was the type of place that even adults wouldn't hesitate to go outside alone at night in. There was, of course, a scary story to accompany the school, and some of the older students told us a mysterious train on a discontinued line passed by at night, full of dead soldiers from the war. Now it was true that the current in the beach was fast, and drowned bodies had washed up on the shore before, so the stories gave us chills and helped set the mood. One night, one of my friends proposed an idea. I think there's something definitely here. So let's play Kokori-san and find out. Of course, nobody wanted to do something like that, considering the place we were in. Kokori-san requires someone to hold a pencil with you. This friend said he was just going to ask the spirits how they died and nothing else. He refused to give up on his idea, so finally I relented and agreed. We wrote down all the letters of the alphabet on a piece of paper, and about 10 of our classmates watched over us as we began. Kokori-san, Kokori-san, we began. The pencil moved, and my friend asked question after question. Are you a boy or a girl? Boy. How old are you? 5, 6. How did you die? M-U-R-D-E-R. The pencil moved swiftly across the paper, so I thought my friend must have been doing it. I grew scared and asked him to stop, but he replied that he thought I was the one doing it. Everyone suddenly grew scared, and an unpleasant feeling fell over the room, so we agreed to stop. Can we stop now? No. We asked over and over, but the answer was always no. We couldn't just stop the game because that would end with us being cursed. My friend asked again, why won't you let us stop? D-I-E. Well, that was the problem. We couldn't let that happen. My friend politely asked the spirit to leave once again, almost in tears. This time we got a different answer. Tear this paper into 8 and bury under a pine. We gave our thanks and ended communication. Yet our relief was only brief. My friend tore the paper into 8 pieces, and then everyone present snuck outside, avoiding the eyes of the teachers. We buried the pieces underneath the closest pine tree to the right, and then put our hands together in prayer. After that, everyone pledged an oath not to try anything like that out of curiosity again. Everyone worried about whether something else might happen that night. But the next day, camp ended and the summer holidays began, so everyone quickly forgot about it. Not a single person spoke about it, about what happened. 6 years passed after the events of that night. I went to work at the seaside school as a swimming instructor part-time. Perhaps because I was there for work, the darkness that threatened to swallow people whole never frightened me. Of course, by that point, I'd forgotten all about the game of Kokori-san as well. On that night, the final group arrived at the training dorm. I went around the dorms with another classmate from the university, who was also working part-time to make sure all the lights were off. We found one of the girls crying underneath her bed by the window. "What's wrong?" we asked her. "There's a boy standing beneath the tree over there. I'm scared." My classmate looked outside. "There's nobody there," he smiled. Somewhere in the back of my head, memories flared to life. "Where is this boy?" I asked the girl. She pointed outside, to the closest tree to the right, the one we buried the pieces of paper under. Everything came rushing back. I didn't need any further convincing. So that boy was real all along, huh? Children blocking the way. When I was a child, owing to certain circumstances, I lived in the countryside of South End Prefecture with my grandmother. It was an empty place with nothing but rice fields all around. It wasn't very convenient if you ever needed to go shopping, but I passed the time happily surrounded by the beauty of nature. There was a road several kilometers from our house. However, where people often had accidents, it was a long road, but for some reason, people always crashed in the same spot at night, and many people died. The road itself was well maintained, so I found it strange that accidents always occurred in that one spot. According to one person who crashed but survived, 5 children holding hands suddenly appeared, blocking the road. They crashed trying not to hit them. I heard the following from my grandmother about that road. My grandmother, so your great-great-grandmother, told me this story. When your great-great-grandmother was a child, several children were killed on the spot. She lived in a different area, so she was safe, but several children were killed or went missing in the area. They never found the person who did it, so perhaps those children are angry and looking for the criminal. I was so scared after hearing her story that my mom scolded her. "Don't tell him such tales." But she kept going. Listen carefully. When you get older, if you're ever driving on that road and you see the children, you mustn't stop. Remember, if you see them, you can drive straight through them and you'll be fine, okay? I grew scared of living in the countryside after that, and shortly thereafter, we moved to Osaka. I quickly became a big city kid, and memories of my time in the countryside soon faded. As I entered my 30s, I got married and had 2 children of my own. As the kids got older, they said they wanted to visit the countryside and play in the mountains and rivers. So during the summer vacation, I took some time off so we could go back to my grandmother's house. It was the first time for me to go back there since I was a kid. My grandmother had aged, but she was still energetic and healthy, and she was looking forward to spending time with her great-grandchildren. We set out late thanks to work, taking the highway and eventually arriving in N Prefecture. It was already pitch black around us. I drove carefully, relying on the car's headlights to see. When slowly I came to recognize my surroundings, I was struck with nostalgia and relief when suddenly it happened. I saw something ahead of us. It looked like people, or at least I thought so. It was around midnight. What on earth would anyone be doing standing on the road at this time of night? As we got closer, the shapes became clearer. A group of children in kimonos around 4 or 5 years old were holding hands, blocking the road in front of us. "There's someone on the road! Stop the car!" my wife said. And I went to step on the brakes, but suddenly I remembered my grandmother's words. I stepped on the accelerator and drove straight through those children. "What are you doing?" my wife screamed. But we didn't hit anything. We passed right through them. "Stop the car! Let's go back and check!" My wife's words brought me back down to earth, and I panicked, thinking I just committed some horrible crime. We went back, but there's nothing there. They really must have been the kids my grandmother spoke about. I thought the kids were asleep, so they were fine, but both me and my wife were terrified. We were unable to enjoy our time there, and despite the heat of summer, we felt nothing but chills right until the very end. I don't know what happened to them at that time, but I sure hope those kids can move on sometime soon. Kia, minasan, I hope you guys had fun hearing today's stories, and I hope you guys all have a happy Halloween. Have fun trick-or-treating and getting a lot of candy, but again, try not to eat too much of it. And I'm still a little scared of the guy behind me, so please help. And either way, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. I hope to get a lot of candy this Halloween too. But until my next video, bye bye! Yurei, is he still behind us?